James Hood was the drummer for The Pretenders, Jeff Beck, and others before in 1989 he would team up with the longtime producer of Billy Bragg and The Fall and former Smith's road engineer Grant Showbiz. They'd shorten their names to just Hood and Showbiz, and they'd come out with a ambient, world beat, down-tempo group called Moodswings. In 1992, they came out with their debut record through Arista and BMG Records. This is Mood Food by Moodswings. It's got the subtitle of Oral Medication for Tired Minds, and it's a pretty adept and succinct description of what this album is, but I do think there's a little bit more to dig into and pick apart. Through their delicate approach to rhythm and beat, they craft a project whose atmosphere forces you to ease back on the tempo and step into a more open space, or maybe just sink into a nice bath. From the opening number, Throw Off the Shackles, they invite you to escape into a unintrusive synth that's backed by this really compelling Afrobeat. They groove to a celebratory tribal sample that makes me feel like I'm arriving in a new world. The Moodswings overture turns that arrival into a frenzied ambient house piece that brings up memories of the song that Scar sings in The Lion King, or that final dance party in the last Matrix movie. An epic dance with a looming battle on the horizon. Problem Solved comes next, and it feels a bit directionless. It finds its groove and then it changes in a whole different direction. I can't keep up with 8 minutes of this track just constantly shifting on me. I really struggle to find some sense in this thing. It's a little silly sounding, but I think it's worth just skipping and going straight to the emotional climax that's the Jeff Beck accompanied Skin Thieves. This theatrical instrumental rock song maintains the urgency from the Moodswings overture, so there's another reason to leave Problem Solved until the end. Jeff Beck's performance reminds me a bit of Satriani, serving with the Alien reviews up over there. If you recognize this song, you might be a fan of the show America's Most Wanted. I believe it's the intro theme for it. Every instrumental or ambient album needs one of these. It's the water level track called Rain Song. This track features the first non-sampled vocals coming from Linda Muriel here, and combining that with the way this one's structured, it does remind me a bit of Enigma, being a fuller, a little bit more complicated than the rest. That said, it's chill, a bit moist, and certainly uplifting. The track 100% total success feels more like 45% progress completed. It's a messy electro mashup that might have worked in the 90s, but not today. They follow it up with Microcosmic, though. It's the perfect track to clean off that ickiness from the last one. It's another techno piece, but it's a piano accompanied electro bit that is really a lot catchier, and it reminds me of that 90s electronic feel that Technotronic grabbed, or that Hathaway grabbed onto afterwards. Gets me up, keeps me going, moving, dancing, even today. Creeping in gently is the John and Vangelis sampled 3-part epic spiritual high, parts 1, 2, and 3. Totaling over 15 minutes, this is probably the most fluid section of the whole album here. Bringing back some concepts from the beginning of the album, part 1 starts you off with that drum focus and celebratory chanting, along with that non-intrusive synth melody. Their biggest hit comes with part 2, with Chrissy Hindy's performance guiding the mix, starting softly, simply, then building, and then falling, and then building once again, giving her this emotional chord that she can pull on with her voice. There are a couple strange little beat stumbles here that I'm not even sure if they're intentional or not. They're not that intrusive, but I'm just a little confused by them. They've moved into part 3 with Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, highlighting that unending need to fight for freedom and have equal outcomes regardless of anyone's background. The album lets you sink deep into a reflective state, losing you in a tranquil jungle for a few minutes on the track Thailand. Then Liz Upchurch takes up the keys and plays you out on her hairy piano. A beautiful, floaty, Minecraft-like piano piece that could just last forever. Soothing and captivating, I'm here to prescribe you all a dose of this oral medicine. take it with water as often as you need it. Moodswings only stuck together for about a decade after the release of Mood Food. They put out a live album in '94 and then Psychedelicatessen in '97. Grant would leave the band in '02 and James would solo produce their final entry in the Moodswings catalog, Horizontal. They deliver a pretty similar but maybe a slightly less compelling versions of what's on here, so if you do like this and want to give the other albums a try, don't get your hopes too high and maybe they'll blow your expectations out of the water. I like that approach for a lot of music. Hope I put you in the mood for some more mood food with this little appetizer. If you're satisfied, let me know with a like and maybe a comment down in the description. I fucked it up again. Why am I calling it a description? If you're this deep in the video, maybe think about subscribing for a weekly thrift shop CD review. If you're not convinced, I've got another one you might enjoy right here if you like mood food, and maybe just a playlist of a bunch of other random thrift shop reviews. Link to subscribe right here. Get out of this rain. The state of independence shall be. The state of independence shall be.